Tension is rising once again in Haikyuu. Seriously, there is one thing Haikyuu knows how to do, and it's definitely the tension. They know how to build up that tension to where, like, you feel like you're being crushed by 100 tons. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Haikyuu in those feels, Haikyuu in those freaking tension building, and Haikyuu in that awesome freaking episode. Once again, Haikyuu stuns me with another good episode. This episode really was freaking good, and I love getting to see Tsukishima actually having a role to play in this episode. I want to say something really funny real quick, okay? Someone pointed out a couple of weeks ago in one of my Haikyuu reviews, stating that I haven't actually talked about Tsukishima since, like, episode 4 of Haikyuu. Has it really been that long since I've actually talked about his character? No matter what, even if I haven't, the reason why is because this dude hasn't really done nothing for me to really talk about. He has a cool character design, but he hasn't done nothing for me to talk about. So finally, for the first time, I think in a long time, I could talk about Tsukishima in this episode of Haikyuu. Now, I really like how he was straight out honest with Kageyama in this episode. He's like, I want you to be more consistent, and so Kageyama changed his playstyle, what he normally would do when he sent a ball to Tsukishima. He actually toned it down, made it slower, and it made it to where Tsukishima could actually hit the ball where he wanted. And right there, it just shows you that Kageyama as a setter is evolving. He's learning to utilize his teammates to the fullest, just like the other setter on the opposite side of the court. And right now, I talked about this last week. I talked about it, how Kageyama is going to now start to use his entire utility belt. He's going to start using all of his teammates, and he's definitely going to start using them to the absolute fullest to make them stronger. Now, the big thing that pops up in this episode that really got me was that it doesn't matter how skilled you are as a player. No matter if you're a genius player, you're a talented player, no matter who you are, if you're that one badass player on your team, you cannot win if you're just that one good player. For instance, what this means is you need to have 6 good players to win. You don't need 1 and 5 shitty players. That's what was stated in this episode. You need 6 good players. The best 6 will overcome the other team. And that is something we can learn from this episode. So right now, even though Kageyama as a character has had so much build-up, so much talent, always been told in this entire series, we've been told as a viewer, that he's talented, he's badass, he's amazing, he's a monster, he's an ogre, different things like that, different titles, okay? And pretty much, we find out this episode, it doesn't matter how good you are, it matters about your entire team, and how good they are too, to back you up, because you can't do everything. There is walls out of your reach. You can't overcome every single wall. And honestly, that entire bit of conversation kind of reminded me of One Piece a little bit, with how you need your Nakama to overcome these challenges that you face. And that is something I really enjoyed about this episode. It was really heart-touching. It definitely brings up a lot of moral values, and it shows you how teamwork really will overcome in the end. And that is one thing I want to talk about once again. I've said it a couple times, and I will say it again. Haikyuu is one sports anime I have seen that does the best teamwork. Seriously, the teamwork in Haikyuu really just takes an entirely different level from what I have seen from sports anime, because it's so enjoyable, it's believable, and the way each individual character gets fleshed out instead of having one overpowered character, it really makes me happy. Because usually, like in a shonen anime or something, or manga, you would have one character that gets, consistent power-ups, he's very strong, kicks some fucking ass, but all these other side characters just get left in the dust because they are weak. But Haikyuu does a different formula. It actually makes every single individual character have their backstory, their development, and get to see how they grow as characters and people through the course of the series. And that's something I really am enjoying about Haikyuu and the sports genre, because you get to see the growth of the characters. Now, the animation, once again, of this episode of Haikyuu, stunning, as usual. I don't even need to mention the animation anymore, seriously. The animation of Haikyuu is fucking ridiculous. It's good, and I've said so much about it. I mean, I don't even need to go into it again, because it's that good. It really is. It's very far and few between that I see animation derps of the characters. That's literally how far in between it is. So, I'm just going to say, animation, 10 out of 10. Well, of course, nothing's really ever 10 out of 10. Nothing's perfect. But I would say close to perfect as you can possibly get in this type of anime. Another thing I do want to say is the music score. The music score really brings Haikyuu to life. That is something I really love about Haikyuu. This second half of Haikyuu has really amped up its music. The soundtrack in Haikyuu really gets the blood flowing. It really does, like, let's go, Dateko, you know, that type of stuff. I just love the music of this series. It is so good. It makes me really want to buy the soundtrack to Haikyuu. And usually when I walk into an anime, honestly, I always want that one specific song to remember always in my mind after I finish an anime that I can always go back to and listen. And that is something Haikyuu has actually managed to, you know, show me. For instance, it's given me a song I truly love, like the dun dun, you know, that type song. I know I can't, you know, sing it well, but still, that entire song where you feel like, you know, tension's going down and stuff. I love that song so much, and Haikyuu definitely impresses me with its original soundtrack. Now, overall, the episode was enjoyable. It was good. A lot of character development to be had. You get to see, you know, Kageyama and Hinata use their new, you know, like, I guess, tactics with their fists behind their back now. I mean, you get to see, you know, all the tension rising between both teams. And at the end of this episode, our team, Kurasuno, wins the second set. So now it's like 1v1, like it's 1-1. And whoever wins this next set will come out on top. So who is going to win? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.